In part 1, we met Lucy, an FX execution manager at a California-based startup. She decided to use an aggregator to ensure she could trade efficiently and on competitive quotes. In an effort to improve her overall execution strategy, she felt that increasing the number of liquidity providers would translate to better pricing. Having reviewed her transactional cost analysis data, she was puzzled to find that her overall spreads had become wider, and her relationships with some LPs had deteriorated. Lucy needs to understand why this happened, and her findings will ultimately reshape her trading setup, execution costs, and relationships with her LPs. FX is an over-the-counter business where the vast majority of trading is privately negotiated between counterparts. There is no single true price like in other exchange-traded markets, and each liquidity provider develops proprietary models that use different information sources and techniques to produce price estimates. Their prices can be, and often are, different. When Lucy increased her pool of liquidity from 3 to 20 LPs, she effectively became better informed about the market price than each individual LP. This is because her new aggregate price brings in the combined market information of all 20 providers. Her goal is to deal at the best price, but by increasing the number of data points, she gains an unintended advantage over the market makers. They will often only win deals when their price is the least accurate estimate of where the true market price is. Importantly, this also means that when the market maker is pricing accurately, they will rarely win a deal, as it is likely that at least one LP will be pricing inaccurately at any given moment. Winning due to misalignment with the general market price is called the winner's curse, and its severity grows as the number of LPs increases. With lots of providers in competition for Lucy's business, the most likely outcome is that each will win a subset of trades that underprice liquidity. Over time, LPs protect themselves from the winner's curse by adjusting parameters in their FX offering. To reduce adverse selection, a common reaction is to widen the bid-to-offer spread. Wider spreads can give LPs a larger buffer, increasing the likelihood that the true market price is within range. It can also mean less business from Lucy if other providers do not also react by making their spreads wider. Another option is for Lucy's LPs to reject more trade requests when they are uncertain if the price shown is accurate or not. These measures may protect the LP, but they will ultimately lead to lose-lose situations, with Lucy seeing a deterioration in her liquidity and the LPs winning less business. An important consideration for Lucy is that as she increases the number of liquidity providers, each is exposed to a smaller share of her business. This, coupled with the effects of adverse selection, may reduce the economic incentives to participate in the aggregator and can weaken the relationship she has with each of them. Armed with the knowledge of the winner's curse and how it can negatively impact the partners she relies on for liquidity, Lucy decides to make further changes, but is still unsure what the key factors to look at are. To avoid making a rash decision, she feels it's important to consider not just the total number of LPs, but the different characteristics that each brings to the aggregator. Her research into LP selection will eventually help reshape her entire FX setup. For now, she is adamant that to reduce the winner's curse and improve her FX liquidity, it will be necessary to reduce the number of LPs. But which LPs to retain?